welcome to the deep dive. So you've sent over some really interesting stuff, sources about this whole idea of living large, but maybe in a smaller space, basically focusing on downsizing. And yeah, that's exactly what we're going to tackle on this deep dive. The mission really is to pull out the key insights from everything you shared
Right.
and figure out how downsizing might actually, boost your quality of life, not make it smaller.
Exactly. It's not just thinking about fewer square feet. It's digging into how that shift could genuinely make day-to-day life better, richer even.
Yeah, and the material you sent articles, different expert takes, it all seems to point towards downsizing being a route to, well, maybe more financial breathing room.
Sure, that's a big one.
And a kind of simplicity, maybe even living a bit more sustainably. It feels really relevant right now, doesn't it, with lots of people thinking about their next steps.
It does, especially, as demographics shift and people reassess priorities.
So it's less about the actual size of the place and more about like optimizing things for your own well-being.
That's a good way to put it, optimizing.
So, okay, you, our listener,
Okay.
are you ready to maybe redefine what living large actually means for you?
Because that really is the starting point, isn't it? What's the personal reason? What's your why for even thinking about downsizing? What sparked that interest?
Exactly. Your sources really hammer this home. The first step isn't checking things out, it's looking inwards.
Mhm.
What's driving this thought? Is it wanting to save money? Is it finally tackling, years of clutter?
Or maybe wanting to be physically closer to family?
Right. Or just feeling maybe overwhelmed by maintaining a bigger property?
Yeah, the sources make it clear those different whys really shape how you should go about it.
How so?
Well, someone who wants, say, a simpler life so they can travel more,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to approach decluttering and choosing a new space differently than someone whose main goal is just cutting down housing costs for retirement. Different priorities.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so you figure out your why. Then the next logical thing seems to be, well, taking stock of where you are now.
Right. Like a proper inventory, looking at everything you actually own.
Everything. That sounds potentially huge.
It can be, but the sources really stress doing a thorough inventory, going through it all systematically, room by room, or maybe by category, like all the books, all the clothes.
Oh, okay, breaking it down.
Yeah. And the aim isn't just to list it, it's to start figuring out what actually adds value to your life.
Right. What do you genuinely use? What makes you happy or serves a real function?
hmm And just as importantly, what's just?
Yeah.
Well, what's just there? Taking up space, maybe collecting dust.
So it's kind of an opportunity then, not just getting rid of things, but like curating what you keep.
Exactly. It's about being intentional, creating a space that's filled only with things you genuinely value or need. That's the ideal anyway.
Now, the information you sent also mentioned some key people, influential voices in this whole downsizing or simplifying movement. We should probably touch on them. Marie Kondo comes to mind immediately.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of people know her. Her KonMari method.
Yeah.
It's really centered on that simple question, does this item spark joy?
Right. That phrase is everywhere.
And it's a very intuitive way to approach decluttering. It's emotional, almost visceral. It's not just about, is this useful, but how does this make me feel?
And she has that specific method too, right? Like doing it by category.
Exactly. That's a key part. You gather all your clothes, for example, from everywhere in the house, put them in one pile.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, seeing the sheer volume can be, well, pretty eye-opening for most people. Then you go through that category, clothes, then books, papers, and so on.
That makes sense, seeing it all together. Okay, and then there was Graham Hill, founder of Life Edited. His angle seems a bit different.
Yeah, Hill's approach is maybe more focused on the, let's say, strategic upsides of living with less.
Strategic. How so?
He really argues that by intentionally limiting your stuff, you actually gain more in other ways. More freedom, more money, more time for experiences rather than managing possessions.
Ah, okay. Less stuff equals more life, kind of thing.
Basically, yes. And his work often highlights really clever design for small spaces, showing you don't necessarily lose function just because the space is smaller.
Yeah.
He talks about that 80-20 rule for possessions,
Oh, yeah.
that we tend to use only about 20% of our stuff 80% of the time. The rest just sits there.
Huh. That's probably true for a lot of us. So, okay, Kondo offers the emotional check-in. Hill gives more of the practical, almost philosophical argument for why less can be more.
Right. Different frameworks, both useful depending on what resonates with you.
Okay, let's pivot to some really practical stuff. Your sources laid out some solid, expert tips for making downsizing actually work. The first big one was start early.
Oh, absolutely critical. Trying to rush downsizing is just, It's a recipe for stress and probably making decisions you'll regret later.
Like throwing out something important or keeping something useless because you panicked.
Exactly. You need time. Time to think, time to sort, time to process, letting things go. It's
Right.
more like training for a marathon,
Hmm.
not a last-minute sprint.
Good analogy. Okay, another tip. Seems obvious, but maybe isn't. Measure your new space.
Yes. Measure it carefully before you decide what furniture makes the cut.
Right. You got to know the
You
dimensions.
really do. Imagine getting to the new place and your beloved sofa, I know, gets stuck in the doorway. Nightmare.
Definitely want to avoid that.
Yeah.
And that leads nicely into the next tip, focusing on versatile furniture.
hmm This is huge for smaller spaces. You want furniture that works hard, does double duty.
Like what? Give me examples.
Well, a classic is a sofa bed, right? Seating by day, guest bed by night, or dining tables that have storage built in, maybe drawers or leaves that fold down.
Smart. Storage is always key.
Absolutely. Ottomans with storage inside, beds with drawers underneath. Thinking vertically too tall, narrow bookshelves use wall space instead of floor space.
Yeah.
Every piece needs to earn its keep, essentially.
Earn its keep. I like that. Okay, another smart unmentioned. Digitize things where you can.
Yeah, this is a game changer for space. Scanning old photos, important documents, maybe even recipes.
Ooh, recipe's good one.
Yeah, it gets rid of the physical paper clutter, but you still have everything backed up, safe, accessible digitally. Keeps the memories without the boxes.
Makes sense. And the last big tip was maybe don't be afraid to ask for help, like professional help.
Right. Sometimes it's just overwhelming. A professional organizer or someone who actually specializes in downsizing support.
They exist.
Oh, yeah. They can bring that objective eye, help you make tough decisions, offer practical strategies, maybe even help with the logistics of selling or donating things. It could be money well spent for some people.
I can definitely see the value in that, especially for the emotional side of letting go. Okay, those are great practical tips. But your sources also had some, let's call them out of the box ideas for really getting the most out of a smaller space.
Yeah, thinking a bit differently, like embracing the sharing economy.
How does that apply?
Well, it kind of extends your living space, virtually speaking. Think about co-living spaces that might have shared gyms or workspaces or kitchens.
Ah, so you don't need all that in your own unit. Exactly. Or things like community gardens. You get access to fresh produce and gardening space without needing a big yard. Tool libraries are another one. Borrow a power drill when you need it. Don't own one.
So it's shifting from I need to own this to I need access to this.
Precisely.
Hmm.
Less ownership, more access, often within a community. Another interesting idea was experimenting with minimalism, like temporarily.
Well, like a trial run.
Kind of. The suggestion was maybe try living with significantly less stuff for, say, a month. Pack away a lot of things you think you need.
And just see what you actually miss
Yeah,
or use.
exactly. It can be a really powerful way to clarify what's truly essential versus what's just habit or accumulation. Some people literally box up most things and only pull out items as they need them over that month. What's still in the box is at the end.
That tells you something, right? Okay, interesting psychological experiment there. Let's zoom out again. Your sources also talked about the bigger picture benefits, like the environmental side of things.
Yeah, that's definitely a factor. Smaller homes generally use less energy, less space to heat and cool. Makes sense. Lower utility bills, too, probably.
Usually, yeah. And often, a downsized lifestyle just means less consumption overall. Fewer things bought, less waste produced. It's inherently a bit more sustainable.
So, a lighter footprint on the planet. That's a compelling point. And beyond the environment, what about, like, personal well being?
The sources mentioned studies linking smaller, tidier, more organized spaces with lower stress levels.
Really?
Yeah. Less clutter, less stuff to manage and clean and worry about. It seems to contribute to a greater sense of calm, maybe even happiness for some people. An intentionally curated space can feel, well, more peaceful.
Less visual noise, maybe.
Could be part of it. Less to distract the eye and the mind.
Okay, so bringing this all together,
Ah,
if you had to boil down the core message from all this material, what's the main takeaway?
I think the central idea, coming through loud and clear from your sources, is that downsizing isn't really about less. It's about making space for more of what truly matters to you.
Expanding life, not shrinking space.
Exactly. It's a conscious choice to prioritize experiences, relationships, financial freedom, peace of mind, what if your why is,
Mm-hmm.
over just accumulating more physical stuff. It's about designing a home, whatever its size, that actually supports the life you want to live, reflects your values.
That really sums it up well.
Okay.
So for you, listening right now, maybe feeling a bit inspired, What's a small, manageable first step someone could take? Not the whole huge declutter, maybe, but just something.
Oh, it could be tiny. Like, pick one drawer, just one messy drawer. Spend 15 minutes on it. That's it.
Okay, doable.
Or if you're actually thinking about moving, maybe just start by browsing some online listings for smaller places.
Yeah.
See what's out there, what appeals to you.
Just looking, no commitment.
Right. Or maybe make a list. Not of stuff to get rid of, but of the things you absolutely love and would definitely want to keep no matter where you lived. The really precious items.
Focusing on the positive first. I like that. So, yeah, any small action can build momentum.
hmm Every little step adds up. And as we've sort of unpacked here, those steps can lead towards a life that feels maybe a bit more intentional, a bit more fulfilling.
Absolutely. Which leads to maybe a final thought to leave everyone with.
Yeah, something to mull over after this deep dive.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, what really brings value? What brings joy to your everyday life? Is it actually the number of square feet you have?
Or is it maybe the richness of the experiences you have, both inside your home and, out in the world?
Something to think about.
Definitely food for thought. Thanks so much for digging into this with me today.
My pleasure. Always interesting stuff.
Until the next deep dive, everyone.